A good Erev Shabbos to everyone. I hope everybody's doing well, staying healthy, staying safe. Excuse me. Parshas Bamidbar. Hashem tells Moshe to take a census of Klal Yisrael. Each and every male member over the age of 20, between 20 and 60, according to their tribes, is determined by their father. Religion determined by the mother, tribal affiliation by the father. And we find that the tribe of Levi is unique. They are not included in this major census. They have their own census. Whereas Klal Yisrael is counted from the age of 20, tribe of Levi, the male members are counted from 1 month old. The tribe of Levi, they also have been chosen for the unique responsibility of working with the Kahanim, safeguarding the tabernacle and the temple. They would be the ones involved in transporting the sacred vessels of the tabernacle. When Klal Yisrael went on its journey in the desert, the tribe of Levi is very unique. They were to assist the Kahanim in various elements of the temple service. So our question is, Manishtana Levi, why is the tribe of Levi so unique? What was different about them? When they took the census, there were some tribes that was 74,000. The tribe of Yehuda was 74,000. There were those that was over 60,000, some 59,000. Then you had 40,000, and then Ephraim and Manasseh, which are really Yosef, but they were divided into two tribes. Here you had 30,000, he had 32,000, whatever, and comes the tribe of Levi, 22,000 plus. The commentaries ask a question. Why was the tribe of Levi so much fewer than the rest of Klal Yisrael? The Ramban answers that Klal Yisrael were subjected to the difficult, horrific labor and oppression from the Egyptians. And this was done with the intent that they would diminish the population of the Jews. And Hashem gave a bracha, Kain Yirbu, that they should increase. And because of that bracha, women were having 4, 5, 6, 7 children at one time, and they were increasing incredibly because of Hashem's bracha. That's why there were so many in each tribe. But the tribe of Levi, the Ramban says, were not recipients of this bracha. Why not? Because they were not subjected to the oppressive rules that Paro enacted in Egypt. And since they were not subjected to the oppression, therefore, they did not receive the blessing. So they reproduced according to normal numbers. Question is, why was the tribe of Levi not subjected to this oppression? What was different about the tribe of Levi? We find that in the portion of Kisisa, when Moshe Rabbeinu sees the golden calf, he breaks the 10 commandments and he says, Mila Hashem Elai. Who has been loyal, steadfastly loyal unto God, come to me. And it says that Kol B'nai Levi, all the men, the entire tribe of Levi came to Moshe. That means not one member of the tribe of Levi was affiliated, associated with the golden calf. They protested. And therefore, they were designated from that point on to be Ligyon Hashem, the Legion of God. They were unique. Whereas the golden calf created a stain and a stench on the sanctity of Klal Yisrael and disqualified the firstborn of Klal Yisrael from being the ones who would perform the service in the temple, the tribe of Levi, they never lost it. Therefore, we have to have a pidyon haben, a redemption of our firstborn. There is no pidyon haben for a firstborn Levi, or of that of a Kohen who's also from the tribe of Levi. their sanctity was never disqualified. Why? Because they were not involved in the sin of the golden calf. For that reason, they were able to come to Moshe, and for that reason, they were designated as being unique, the Legion of Hashem being unique, to be counted separately, and also that they should have a different responsibility serving with the Kahanim in the temple and the tabernacle. But here too, we must ask the question, what was it about the tribe of Levi that they were able to withstand the incredible incident of the golden calf? Klal Yisrael, there were a few who were engaged in worshiping it, but most of Klal Yisrael understood it was wrong, but they were quiet. The tribe of Levi were protesting, but they weren't listened to. What was it about the tribe of Levi that made them so different, so unique, that they should remain loyal and steadfast unto Hashem and therefore be chosen to be his legion, counted differently, served differently? What was it about the tribe of Levi? In the beginning of Chumash Shmos, it says, "Vayomaz Yosef v'cholecha b'chol hador hahu." Yosef and all his brothers in that generation died, and then we find that the Egyptians and Paro, they began their plan to enslave the Jewish people. Our sages tell us it was only after the death of Yosef and all of his brothers. As long as Yosef and his brothers were alive, then the Egyptians had no thoughts of corrupting and enslaving the Jews. Why? Because as long as Yosef was alive, he was revered by Egypt. As long as the brothers were alive, they were respected by the Egyptians. But more than that, as long as they were alive, even in their old age, we had these symbols of Torah. These were the children, these were the Shiftei Kah, the chosen tribes of Klal Yisrael by God. These are the children of Yaakov, the grandchildren of Yitzchak, great-grandchildren of Avraham. They were the symbols, and they manifested a life dignified by Torah and mitzvahs, by the principles in Judaism, the morality and the ethics. They were our role models, they were our teachers. It's not just that because they were respected, the Egyptians did not attempt to corrupt us, but we were uncorruptible. It was impossible because Klal Yisrael was so well focused. They were focused because they had their leaders, their teachers. But when that generation died, then we became vulnerable. No longer did we have the great sages, the great leaders, the symbols of all that is pure and holy, of what was perfected by Yaakov, Yitzchak, and Avraham, our patriarchs. And we became vulnerable, and slowly the great principles of Judaism in all its sanctity and purity began to erode. And then the Egyptians saw the Jewish people, they're beginning to become like us, like one of us. They're no longer staying amongst themselves and doing what they do, but they want to be like us. That is the cause of the anti-Semitism. However, we are taught the last one of the brothers to die was Levi. Levi outlived all the brothers. And therefore, the tribe of Levi, they still had their Alter Zayda, their old great-great-grandfather, who was there to shower them with not just the love of a grandfather, but also to be the symbol, the living expression of all that is holy and pure, learned in the household of Yaakov, Rachel, Leah, what he learned from his grandfather Yitzchak, what he was exposed to, the teachings of Avraham and Sarah. He was there, he was the symbol, he was that shining star for all of his entire tribe. And whereas Klal Yisrael, the armor of the magnificence of Torah Judaism, began to be pierced, the tribe of Levi remained firm. And when the Egyptians came with their plan, they couldn't just enslave the Jewish people. It was unheard of. But rather they said, we need your assistance. Please come volunteer for Paro. We need to construct various monuments and various forts and whatever it might be. We need your help. The Jews are wonderful engineers. You're wonderful in your abilities. You're clever people. And many of Klal Yisrael said, well, it means leaving our homes or whatever for a few months here and there, whatever. Paro needs us. We need to show our loyalty. Tribe of Levi, still under the influence of their great-grandfather, Levi, who was with them, realized and said, no, our place is within our homes. We need to be within our homes. And there within our homes, we can be the role models for our children and grandchildren. And they can see through us what it means to be connected to previous generations. And they can see Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, living and breathing through us. We need to be the manifestation of the Torah ideals. And the tribe of Levi did not volunteer. And the tribe of Levi then was considered separate. And we know that Paro's plan was get them to volunteer and then tell them you can't leave and you've got to stay. And we need you, we'll fall apart without you. And before we knew it, we had lost all of our liberties. And we were enslaved totally to Paro. Only the tribe of Levi, even after the death of Levi himself, only the tribe of Levi, they were removed from this. Why? Because they followed the teachings and the principles that they saw from their Alter Zaydi, their great-great-grandfather, the elderly Levi. They saw it. They absorbed it. This is why, when it came to the golden calf, the principles of Judaism was still deeply enrooted within the hearts of the tribe of Levi. They were deeply rooted, and we knew that this was wrong, even if we were just giving tacit approval or whatever, and there was a mistake, and the Satan was causing great confusion. They knew this was wrong, and they lifted their voices in protest. And because of that, they were able to come to Moshe when he said, who is unto God? Come to me. And it was a tribe of Levi who came because they had the teachings, they had the image of Levi himself being there with them. That's why they are the Legion of God. But because they weren't oppressed, the Ramban says they were not the vessels to receive God's blessing, to increase disproportionately. And therefore, they had only 22,000 because they reproduced in a normal way. That's how they were able to do this. And the tribe of Levi was thereby selected by God. We say in the Shema that Vishinantim levanecha v'dibarta bom, that we have a mitzvah to teach our children. And we should speak the words of Torah. Well, what if we're not capable? What if we're not individuals who are capable of conveying the message of Torah unto our children? What if we don't have that background, that education? Nevertheless, the Torah says, when we're dwelling in our homes, when we go on the road, on our path, when we lie down, when we awaken. The Torah is saying that one of the greatest methods of instilling within our children and grandchildren the principles and the love for God and His Torah and mitzvahs. Yes, of course, teach them Torah, send them to a proper Torah school, proper day school, give them a Jewish education. But equally important, the behavior, what children see of their parents, and if they're blessed to see their grandparents, in the home, on the road, when we go to sleep, when we awaken, to see that there is a goal that joins together a husband and a wife, generations. There's a Shabbos, there's a Yom Tif, there's a Pesach. There are rules to guide what we eat, what we don't eat, what we say, what we don't say. There's a loftier calling for Klal Yisrael. We have a mission. When children see this, when they see the proper respect, when they see the love and the dignity between a husband and wife, when they see what a home should be, how a parent, a grandparent conducts themselves. This is also the great teacher, the Vishinantam Levanecha, the teaching to our children. This is what the tribe of Levi was able to glean from their Zayda from Levi. Not just the Torah that was taught, but also to see how he conducted himself, to see the warmth, to see the love, to see the sanctity, to see the purity, to see the understanding, to see the open arms, to see the medium, the channel to connect us to creation and unto God himself. Those who are blessed to have grandparents, contrary to much of the thinking in Western civilization, as a person ages, they become more sacred. They are more precious. Not only do they have the knowledge of decades and the experience, but they also are the symbols and the role models of how to behave in a Torah and a Jewish way. We should revere our grandparents, parents, grandparents, great-grandparents. Look how they speak, look how they deal, look how they engage with others. Look at the love. It's such a gift. Today, because of this lockdown of the virus, most of us are stuck at home, and many are at home with their children 24 hours a day, which can be very challenging. As much as we love and live for our children, it can be very challenging. They have great needs and great demands. They need to be educated. It's hard for a parent to homeschool, try to address their own occupation, caring for their children at home. It's not easy. And yes, we're human, and sometimes perhaps things get a little bit out of hand and we need a break. But let's just keep in mind, even when things get out of hand, it's still b'shivtecha b'veisecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech. It's still how things get out of hand in a Jewish home should be different than what we see elsewhere. We understand that the rate of domestic violence is increasing, and alcoholism and other issues have increased in an unimaginable way. Our home should reflect the homes of Torah and mitzvahs, the home of the Yosef and his brothers, the home of Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. That's the home. Even when we find that we have to break up the countless fights and arguments and trying to get them in bed on time and wake up on time or whatever it might be, and even between husband and wife, let us remember that we are the legion of Hashem today, not just the tribe of Levi. We, Klal Yisrael, are also the chosen legion of Hashem, and may God give us the strength to reflect the sanctity, the purity, the beauty of our Torah, our mitzvahs, the way we behave, that which we hold sacred, our children, our homes, and may we be able to shortly send our children back to school, come back to our synagogue, and get on with life in the way that we have been accustomed throughout the majority of our lives. I wish everybody a wonderful Shabbos. It is Rosh Chodesh benching. Rosh Chodesh will be Saturday night and Sunday, Rosh Chodesh Sivan. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay Jewish. Thank you.